to Dr. Lotfi and my fellow classmates. Today, our group will be presenting an analysis of Act 4, Scene 1 from William Shakespeare's A Midnight Summer Night's Dream for the course Drama in the ESL Classroom, BIS 3233. Before we begin, I would like to introduce my group members. We are from Group 7 consisting of Nidesh Kumar anak lelaki Chandran, Anirvan Devan anak lelaki Aribu Devan, Sneha Lakshmi anak perempuan Kumaravelu, and myself Darsha Bhaskaran. In this presentation, we will discuss the summary, characters, setting, themes, literary devices, moral values, and conclusion of the scene. Without further ado, let's begin with our video.
Lysander, Demetrius, Helena, and Hermia asleep. Enter Titania, queen of the fairies, and Bottom with the ass's head, and fairies Peaseblossom, Cobweb, Moth, Mustard Seed.
While I thy amiable cheeks do coy, and stick musk roses in the sleek smooth head, and kiss thy large fair ears, my gentle joy.
Where's Peaseblossom?
Ready?
Scratch my head, Peaseblossom. Where's Monsieur Cobweb?
Ready.
And good Monsieur, bring me your the honey bag. Do not fret yourself too much in the action, Monsieur. And good Monsieur, have a care the honey bag break not. I will be loath to have you overflown with the honey bag, Signor. Where's Monsieur Mustard Seed?
Ready?
What? How? Where?
Malaysia very hot lah, just do. Peaseblossom helped.
Leave, Monsieur Mustard Seed. Pray you, leave your courtesy, good Monsieur.
What's your will?
Nothing, good Monsieur, but to help cavalry Cobweb to scratch. I must do a barber's, Monsieur, for me thinks I'm a marvelous Harry. About the face, and I'm such a tender ass. If my hair do but tickle me, I must scratch.
What will thou hear some music, my sweet love?
I have reasonable good ear in music. Let's have the tongs and the bones.
Or say, sweet love, what thou desires to eat?
Truly, a peck of provender. I could munch your good dry oats. Methinks I have a great desire to a bottle of hay. Good hay, sweet hay, hath no follow.
I have a venturous fairy that shall seek the squirrel's hoard and fetch the new nuts.
I had rather have a handful or two of dried peas. But I pray you, let alone let people stir me. I have an exposition of sleep come upon me.
Sleep thou, and I will win thee in my arms. Fairies, be gone, and be always away. So doth the woodbine, the sweet honeysuckle, gently entwist. The female ivy so enrings the barky fingers of the elm. Oh, how I love thee! How I dote on thee!
Welcome, good Robin. Seest thou this sweet sight? Her dotage now I do begin to pity. For meeting her of late behind the wood, seeking sweet favors from this hateful fool, I did upbraid her and fall out with her. For she his hairy temples then had rounded, and now I have the boy. I will undo this hateful imperfection of her eyes. And gentle Puck, take this transformed scalp from off the head of this Athenian sway, that he awaking when the other do, may all Athens back again repair and think no more of this night's accidents, but as the fierce vexation of a dream. But first, I will release the fairy queen.
Be as thou was won't be, see as thou won't see. The ant's bud or Cupid's flower had such force and blessed power. Now, Titania, wake you, my sweet queen.
My Oberon, what visions have I seen? Methought I was enamored of an ass.
There lies your love.
How come these things to pass? Oh, how my eyes do loathe his visage now.
A while. Robin, take off this hat. Titania, music call and strike more dead than common sleep of all these five senses.
Music ho, music such as shamans sleep.
Now, when thou wakest, with thine own fool's eyes peep.
Sound music, come, my queen, take your hands with me and rock the grounds whereon these sleepers.
Fairy King, attend and mark, I do hear morning lark.
Then, my queen, in silence sad, trip we after the night's shade. We the globe can compass soon, swifter than the wandering moon.
Come, my lord, and in our flight, tell me how it came this night that I sleep he was found with his mortals on the ground.
Go, one of you, find out the forester, for now our observation is performed, and since we have the vivid of the day, my love shall hear the music of my hounds. Uncouple the western valley, let them go. Dispatch, I say, and find the forester. We will, fair queen, up to the mountain's top, and mark the musical confusion of hounds and echo in conjunction.
I was with Hercules and Cadmus once, when in a wood of Crete they bayed the bear. With hounds of Sparta, never I such gallant chiding, for besides the groves, the skies, the fountains, every region near seemed one mutual cry. I never heard so musical a discord, such sweet thunder.
My hounds are bred out of the Spartan kind, so fluid, so sanded, and their heads are hung with ears that sweep away the morning dew, crook-kneed and dew-lapped like Thessalian bulls, slow in pursuit, but matched in mouth like bells. Each under a cry more tunable was never hollowed to, nor cheered with horn. In Crete, in Sparta, nor in Thessaly. Judge when you hear, but soft. What nymphs are these?
My lord, this is my daughter here, asleep, and this Lysander, this Demetrius is. This Helena, old Nether's Helena. I wonder of their being here together.
No doubt they rose up early to observe the rite of May, and hearing out our intent, came here in grace, our solemnity. But speak, Aegeus, is it not the day that Hermia should give answers of a choice?
It is, my lord.
Go, with the huntsmen, wake them with your horns. Good morrow, friends. Saint Valentine is past.
On the first page, Titania is still under the influence of the love potion and is completely in love with Bottom despite his donkey head. She treats him like royalty and gives him special attention. Meanwhile, Bottom remains unaware of his appearance and makes unusual requests to the fairies. This creates a humorous contrast between illusion and reality. Moving on to page 2, Titania continues to adore Bottom and offers him comfort, music, and the service of a fairies. Bottom, however, behaves simply and asks for ordinary food. The fairies obey Titania's every command without question. This scene highlights how the love potion has distorted Titania's feelings for Bottom. On the third page, Oberon watches Titania and begins to feel sympathy for her. Since he has already obtained the changeling boy, he decides to remove the enchantment. He also instructs Puck, also known as Robin, to restore Bottom to his original form. This marks the beginning of the resolution of the play's conflict. On this page, Oberon removes the spell from Titania, and she is shocked to realize that she was in love with Bottom. She reconciles with Oberon, restoring harmony between them. At the same time, Bottom's donkey head is removed, and he returns to his human form without knowing what has happened. Moving on to the fifth page, after reconciling, Oberon and Titania celebrate and prepare to leave the forest together. Peace and balance return to the fairy world. As dawn approaches, the magical atmosphere begins to fade, and Theseus and his hunting party enter the forest. On the final page, Theseus finds the four lovers sleeping in the forest. When they wake up, the confusion of the previous night has disappeared. Theseus accepts the lovers' relationships, allowing them to be together. This scene brings the play closer to a happy and orderly ending. Overall, Act 4, Scene 1 from page 1 to page 6 resolves many of the misunderstandings caused by magic and restores harmony in both fairy world and the human world. Firstly is Titania. Titania is shown as blindly in love with Bottom under enchantment, even calling his donkey's head her gentle joy. Once freed by Oberon using Diane's blood, she immediately regains clarity and rejects Bottom's appearance. She then restores balance by renewing her alliance with Oberon through a ceremonial dance. Next is Bottom. Bottom is portrayed as bossy and unaware of his donkey transformation, still demanding royal treatment from their fairies. He also shows animalistic traits by preferring dry oats and hay and enjoying rustic music. Later, he falls asleep and Robin removes his donkey head before he wakes. Next is Oberon. Oberon is portrayed as victorious as he exploits Titania's distraction to successfully secure the changeling child. He later shows compassion by pitying her public humiliation and deciding to end the spell. Ultimately, he acts as a leader by healing Titania and restoring order and unity in the fairy kingdom. Next is Puck or Robin. Robin or Puck is shown as a practical and obedient fairy who removes Bottom's ass's head, so the experience feels like a mere dream. He also acts as a vigilant messenger, spotting the dawn and warning the fairies to flee at the morning lark's song. Next are the fairy servants that include Peace Blossom, Cobweb, Moth, and Mustard Seed. The fairy servants are portrayed as loyal attendants who obediently serve Bottom. They tend to his unusual requests with Peace Blossom and Mustard Seed scratching his face while Cobweb fetches a bee's honey bag. Next are the four lovers that include Lysander, Demetrius, Hermia, and Helena. The four lovers are shown as exhausted and confused individuals who are eventually found sleeping peacefully together after the chaos of the night. Next are the Athenian nobles. Theseus is portrayed as a confident ruler who boasts of his hunting hounds. Hippolyta accompanies him and reflects on grand mythological hunts involving heroes like Hercules and Cadmus. Aegeus is shown as shocked by the lovers' sudden reconciliation and insists on controlling Hermia's decision. Lastly, there are the mentioned only characters. The changing child is the boy Titania surrendered to Oberon in the fairy realm. The forester or huntsmen are responsible for blowing the horns that break the lovers' enchanted dreams. Hercules and Cadmus are referenced by Hippolyta to symbolize legendary past hunts. Nether is briefly mentioned by Aegeus to identify Helena's lineage as Old Nether's Helena.
Now I will explain about the settings. The enchanted forest near Athens is one of the main settings in A Midsummer's Night's Dream. In Act 4, Scene 1, Titania, Bottom, Oberon, Puck, and the lovers are found in the forest. This proves that many important events happens here. The forest is important because it is magical and is different from Athens. In this place, characters become confused, fall under spells, and act strangely. It helps Hush show the themes of love, magic, and transformation. This setting focuses on the time of the scene, which is early morning after the magical night has passed. We know this because Puck says, I do hear the morning lark, and Theseus arrives with Hippolyta and Aegis for a morning hunt. This morning setting is important because it shows that the confusion caused by magic is ending. As the characters wake up, the story begins to return to reality, order, and harmony. This setting shows the forest as a place of transformation and change. In Act 4, Scene 1, Oberon removes the spell from Titania and Puck changes Bottom back to his normal form. This is important because the forest is where problems are resolved. The magical confusion comes to an end, and the characters begin to return to their normal lives. Therefore, the forest symbolizes growth, transformation, and restoration. The setting shows how the forest connects the fairy world and the human world. In Act 4, Scene 1, fairy characters like Oberon, Titania, and Puck share the same space as Bottom, Theseus, Hippolyta, Aegeus, and the lovers. This is important because the forest becomes a meeting place between magic and reality. Through this setting, Shakespeare shows how fairy magic influences human relationships and events. This setting is from Act 4, Scene 1, page 6, lines 118 and between 120. By the end of the scene, the forest becomes a place where confusion is resolved. Oberon and Titania are reunited, Bottom returns to his normal form, and Theseus discovers the lovers sleeping in the forest. This is important because the forest changes from a place of chaos into a place of peace and order. It prepares the character to return to Athens and move towards marriage and celebration. Next, I'm going to explain about the themes that are contained in this act. The theme is love is blind and irrational. This theme is shown in Act 4, Scene 1, page 4, lines between 59 and 60. Titania says, "My Oberon, what visions have I seen? Me thought I was enamored of an ass." This quote shows that Titania realizes her love for Bottom was foolish and unnatural because she was under a magic spell. Shakespeare uses this moment to show that love can make people blind to reality and cause them to act irrationally. The theme is especially important because magic influences the characters' feelings throughout the play. Next, the theme is dreams versus reality. This theme is shown in Act 4, Scene 1, page 3, lines 30 to 32. Oberon says, "May all to Athens back again repair, and think no more of this night's accidents, but as the fierce vexation of a dream." This quote suggests that the strange events in the forest will seem like a dream to the lovers. Shakespeare uses this moment to blur the line between dreams and reality, making the audience question what is real and what is imagined. The next theme is magic and transformation. This theme is shown in Act 4, Scene 1, page 4, lines 66 and 67. Puck says, "Now when thou wakest with thine own fool's eyes peep." This quote comes as Puck removes the ass's head from Bottom. It highlights the power of magic and transformation in the play. Through magic, Bottom is changed and then restored to his normal human form, showing how magic can alter people's identities and experiences. The next theme is restoration of order. This theme is shown in Act 4, Scene 1, page 4, line 72 till line 78. Oberon says, "Now thou and I are new in amity." This quote shows that Oberon and Titania have ended their conflict and become friends again. The restoration of order is important because the problems caused by magic are finally resolved. Once peace returns to the fairy world, harmony is also restored in the human world. The lovers are no longer confused. Bottom returns to his normal form, and everyone can move forward peacefully. Through this theme, Shakespeare shows that after chaos and misunderstanding, order and balance can be restored. In this slide, the next theme is reconciliation and peace. This theme is shown in Act 4, Scene 1, page 4, lines 70 to 72. Oberon says, "Come, my queen, take hands with me. Now thou and I are new in amity." This quote shows that Oberon and Titania have ended their argument and restored their relationship. The theme of reconciliation is important because it marks at the end of a conflict between the fairy king and queen. Their peace helps restore harmony in both the fairy world and the human world. Through this moment, Shakespeare suggests that forgiveness and understanding can overcome conflict and bring people together again. Last but not least, the theme is appearance versus reality. This theme is shown in Act 4, Scene 1, page 4, lines 61 to 63. Titania says, "How came these things to pass? Oh, how mine eyes do loathe this visage now." This quote is spoken after the magic spell is removed. While under the spell, Titania believed Bottom was attractive and lovable. However, once the spell is broken, she sees him for who he really is and is shocked by his appearance. This theme is important because it shows that things are not always what they seem. Shakespeare uses Titania's change in feelings to demonstrate how appearances, emotions, and perceptions can be misleading, especially when influenced by magic.
The first literary device identified in this scene is metaphor. For instance, Titania says, "Methought I was enamored of an ass," where the word ass goes beyond its literal meaning and reflects the foolishness of her enchanted love. Similarly, Oberon describes the night's events as the fierce vexation of a dream, suggesting that everything that happened feels distant and unreal. Through these metaphors, Shakespeare presents love as something irrational and unstable, while also reinforcing the idea that the boundary between reality and illusion is easily blurred. Another key literary device used is simile. Oberon compares the dew to round and Orion pearls, and later describes it like tears that did their own disgrace bewail. These comparisons create delicate yet emotional imagery, transforming simple natural elements into symbols of sorrow and embarrassment. As a result, the similes deepen the audience's understanding of Titania's emotional state, showing how love, when distorted, can lead to both beauty and humiliation. Dramatic irony is also strongly present in this scene. Titania passionately declares, "Oh, how I love thee, how I dote on thee," to Bottom, yet later admits, "Oh, how mine eyes do loathe his visage now." The audience is aware that her love was caused by magic, while she remains unaware of it. These contrasts not only creates humor but also subtly critiques the nature of love, suggesting that it can be unpredictable, artificial, and easily influenced by external forces. Next is personification. For example, tears that did their own disgrace bewail gives human emotion to tears, while music such as Charmed Sleep presents music as having the power to enchant. By attributing human qualities to non human elements, Shakespeare enhances the magical atmosphere of the scene. This use of personification allows emotions and nature to feel more alive, reinforcing the dreamlike and enchanted quality of the fairy world. Lastly, hyperbole is used to emphasize the extraordinary nature of the setting. Oberon claims that they can travel swifter than the wandering moon, while Hippolyta describes the sound of the hounds as sweet thunder. These exaggerated expressions highlight the contrast between the ordinary human world and the magical realm of the forest. Through hyperbole, Shakespeare amplifies the sense of wonder and reminds the audience that this is a world where the impossible feels entirely natural. Now, moving on to the next focus of the presentation.
The first moral value in Act 4, Scene 1 is forgiveness and reconciliation. Earlier in the play, Oberon and Titania were arguing over the changeling child, which created tension and disorder in the fairy world. However, After Oberon obtains the child, he decides to remove the spell from Titania and reconcile with her. This can be seen when he says, "Come, my queen, take hands with me," and "Now thou and I are new in amity." Their willingness to forgive each other helps restore harmony and peace. Shakespeare shows that holding on to anger only creates more conflict, while forgiveness can repair relationships and bring people together. The second moral value is humility and self awareness. After Oberon removes the enchantment, Titania realizes that she had fallen in love with Bottom, who had the head of a donkey. She is shocked and says, "Me thought I was enamored of an ass." This moment is important because Titania recognizes how foolish she had been under the spell. Instead of denying what happened, she accepts the truth. Shakespeare highlights the importance of being aware of our mistakes and learning it from them. Self awareness helps us grow as individuals and make better decisions in the future. The third moral value is letting go of past mistakes. After the confusion and chaos caused by the magic in the forest, Oberon wishes for the mortals to think of the night's events as nothing more than a dream. This is shown when he says, "Think no more of these night's accidents but as the fierce vexation of a dream." Rather than dwelling on the misunderstandings and embarrassing situations, the characters are encouraged to move forward. Shakespeare suggests that people should not allow past mistakes to control their lives. Instead, they should learn from their experiences, leave the negativity behind, and embrace a fresh start. In conclusion, Act 4, Scene 1 is an important turning point in A Midsummer Night's Dream. The conflicts and misunderstandings created by magic begin to resolve, and harmony is gradually restored among the characters. Through the actions of Oberon, Titania, Bottom, and the lovers, Shakespeare explores themes such as love, reconciliation, appearance versus reality, and the restoration of order. The scene also teaches valuable moral lessons, including forgiveness, self awareness, and the importance of letting go of past mistakes. Overall, this scene helps prepare the audience for the happy ending of the play while emphasizing the growth and transformation of the characters. That is all from us. Thank you.